Hey guys, so one of the things that I talked about in class was that it's really hard to get the full parameter, the full scope, the full effect of Blue Truth just in 4 hours, because that's basically what we have. Blue Truth before, when the Blue Wave began, was an 8-week series. So Blue Truth right now in Blue Beginnings is giving you a seed to plant. So what I offered to do was pop in and do a few videos talking about it along the way so that you could read those, read the posts or watch the videos, so that as we go forward, you have a little bit more information. And the cool thing is that you can always watch the video and pause it and take some notes. Now, in no way can I give everything that I'm going over in class, because class is so spirit-led. And that's what the great thing about the Blue Way is. It's one of my favorite things about it, is that it is spirit-led. But this gives you a little bit more context behind the scenes when you're doing the work on your own. This video will be very short. I'm going to try to make all the ones that I do for this series very short, so that you don't have to spend a lot of time watching them. They can be little tips, little tidbits, little reminders that you can go to and help you along your journey. So Loving What Is, it's one of the main books, and it was one of the first things that I talked about. And that is what is actually true. And living in truth in your life helps you, just like Byron Katie's book says, love what is. Because that is the ultimate truth of your moment. This is. So if I were to tell the truth about this moment right here for me, I feel physically cold. My fingers are cold, my nose is cold. I feel physically cold. If I tap in a little bit deeper, I feel a little bit physically tired, and that comes from having been out in the cold a lot today. Emotionally, I feel hopeful. I feel happy. I actually feel some joy. And that's not something I have felt a whole lot of recently. That's the truth for me. Energetically, though physically tired, I am energetically grounded. Energetically full. My energy feels full. And energetically expansive. Now, if you're not used to working with your energy, then you may not tap in quite as deeply as that, and that's okay. This is a process. It is a progressive practice and a practice of progress, and you learn more along the way. So this first video is to remind you to tap into the truth of the moment. So that was the truth of my physical feelings, the truth of my emotional feelings, and the truth of my energetic sensations, what I was experiencing energetically. Now, truth of my mind. So, what's the truth of my mind? My mind says that I'm not prepared for this video, that I'm just going to ramble, that I don't really have anything to offer you, that you'll be frustrated because we're doing yet another group for you to be in. So if I were to look at those things and say, is this true? Is it true that I'm not prepared? No, it's not true that I'm not prepared. Is it true that I'm just going to ramble? What's rambling? That's my mind telling me a story, so I know that it's true. It's also me judging it that I'm rambling. It's also, me putting my thought onto what your thought might be. You may be completely engaged, and it may not seem like rambling, and I think I'm completely rambling. It's all opinion. So that's where my mind is, in the back of it, what's really running. And I pull it back to truth. The truth is, I have something I want to offer. What you get from it, what you take from it, is not my business. But just that little exercise goes along with the Byron Katie work. Is it true? Is it true? Can you absolutely know that it is true? Period, the end. And then Byron Katie's work talks about how are you? How are you when you are believing it's true? And how can you be? And that's a future prediction. So that's something that one of your fellow students talked to me about. And that term, future prediction, comes from the More to Life work that I've mentioned. And I told her, you're absolutely right, that to say, I will be this way if I didn't believe that, is a future prediction. Therefore, it is still mind chatter. So I like to reword Byron Katie's work. And it's, how do you act when you are believing that it's true versus how do you act when you don't? So let's say that I believed that I had nothing to offer you on this video. How do I act when I believe that? Well, I do ramble. I second guess myself constantly in my head. I go back and I nitpick the video. Or sometimes, if it's not a Facebook Live, I may even stop the video and start all over, get on my own back. I believe unkind things about myself. I start to play small. I start to not be spirit-led because at that point I'm ego-led. So that's what happens when I'm believing that it's true that I don't have anything to offer. Now, how do I act when I do not believe it's true? So when I do not believe that it's true that I have anything to offer, I show up. And there's a phrase that I like, you hear sometimes, I show up and show out. So when I don't believe that's true, I act confidently. I am much more spirit-led and I actually can offer more. I believe in myself. I'm taller because I'm standing taller. I breathe. I'm grounded. So I joked with your fellow student who talked to me about this, and I said, oh, if Byron Katie also had the More to Life program, we would be in straight business, because she would understand that phrase, future prediction, and understand that what she's saying really is a future prediction, and even that little bit of rewording actually makes you more authentic in your truth. So, is it true? Can you absolutely know it's true? Period, the end. And an example of that is, I'm unkind. So are there any times in your life that you have acted unkindly, spoken unkindly? It's a judgment, either way, but for context, let's go with it. Are you an unkind person? Always and forever, will never be anything other than an unkind person, period, the end. That period, the end, helps you go, oh, well, no, that's not true. You know, I believe that what I just said out of my mouth was unkind, but that does not mean that I'm an unkind person. And so notice how I changed that wording. I said, I believe that what I said was unkind. That's me owning that it's my belief, that it's my judgment, which is very different from, well, I was unkind. What I said was unkind, you know. So now I've had people tell me before, well, that's just nitpicking. That's getting too down in those details, you know. Why? Okay, maybe, could be. You might think that. Why not? When you start doing this work and you get into those details, and I don't mean the rabbit hole, that's different. But when you start really looking at what you're creating with your speech, what you are manifesting by your word, you'll start to look at those details and you'll start to go for what's actually true. And your life changes. And your life changes because suddenly you're not living in the stuff anymore. You're not in the rabbit hole anymore. Some days, you know, maybe more of you's in it than out. And that's okay, because with this tool, you know how to get back out. So, big inhale. The truth of your moment is that it is happening. However it is happening around you right now is the truth of your experience. The other truth of your experience is how you are reacting to what is happening around you. And that is your choice. Choice. It's not written up here, but pretend it is. Choice. The other truth is what you feel physically in the moment. Might be tension, might be anxiety, might be that churning of the stomach would be the physical sensation. Where's your breath? That's one, it's a good one. And how's your breath? So is it high up in the chest or the throat? Is it shallow, deep, choppy, long, smooth, calm? What's your emotional feelings? What's the sensation you're emoting? Is it sadness? Is it sorrow? Is it happiness? Is it anger? Is it fear? And then what's going on with your energy? And maybe sometimes let's just check in. If you're not practiced in going deep into the energy work, maybe is it depleted, or is it really big and out there and pushing forward? So those are some pieces for you to take with you right now. I'm going to pop back in later and post another video. Make sure that you read the pinned post on here. It's pretty short about this particular group and these videos. They won't be around forever. They'll be around for the duration of the series. The other thing is, if you have questions about any of that, comment on that pinned post so we can keep it all in one place. All right? Live in your truth. You're important. That is true right now. Your experience is happening just as it is meant to for you. Namaste, friends.